All right, guys, here we are. Thank you for those who were with me for the last minute. My name is Rachel Feldman. I am so excited to be here. I was a coach who graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition back in 2010, and then went off to study detox at a bunch of different schools, all different modalities, because I got out of school from IN and said, there must be a reason why we're still sick. There must be a reason why the gut is still out of balance. This was what I specialized in: gut, food allergies, autoimmune, emotional eating. And so I furthered my education, going to a number of different detox schools, and then, of course, started my business, which, as you guys know, whether you're new or you are thriving in your business, it can feel overwhelming. We never thought we had to understand marketing or sales. We all just have this massive, not even a passion. I feel like when it's your passion, that's one thing, but really, guys, it's our purpose. It's our purpose to coach. So the reason that the Done For You programs were actually birthed is because in this office, when I had two babies on the floor, my son who's now 14, my daughter who's now 12, so keep in mind, this was 10 years ago, I started creating programs, workshops, opt-in freebies, checklists, handouts, everything for my business. And it took a long time. My first program took a very long time. You can ask my husband, but he's in the other room with my son. And it was when I launched that program and I had actually tangible assets to be able to increase my confidence on a discovery session that I started to actually bring in clients. It's not to say that programs fix everything. They don't. We have to know who we serve. We have to know why we serve them, what problems we fix, and most importantly, the solutions we provide. Each one of you, even if you're in the same niche, could probably have a different approach. I would bet about $1 million that each of you do, because I've talked to thousands of coaches, wellness professionals, doctors, chiropractors, nurses, functional medicine practitioners. Every one of us, because we're so unique, has a different approach. So before we start tonight, I want you to think about those days of either getting better, whether it was your own experience, your own story, or somebody who helped, your family member, maybe your own child, maybe your significant other. Something propelled you into this business. You didn't just wake up and say, I think it's going to be super fun to be a wellness coach. It's trending. Maybe some of you did, but I'm sure that you've learned that this business is about being of service and making sure that you are saving that exhaustion, the frustration, the Googling, the misdiagnosis, the diagnosis, all of it and in between that comes with taking charge of our health. Not just being empowered, but really knowing what those tools are to navigate this path in this crazy toxic world. I mean, we breathe and we have toxins. We think, we're bombarded by the news and we're bombarded by media, which brings in these different narratives that we all have to learn how to manage. And that's why we always have seen sickness. And I think right now we can all say that there's another level of internal just dysbiosis in the heart, in the soul, in the gut that has affected not only, people maybe your own age, but I think you see this across the board. So I want you to go back to that time that you entered into school or you said that I want to do this. And I want you to think back to what happened in your life. So a few questions I want you to actually write down. And this is an exercise that I've always done, something I developed like way in the beginning when I was trying to figure out my story, trying to figure out what my offers were, free and paid, trying to figure out who I was serving. I sat first and said, what happened to me? What was it like? What happened? What was it like? What brought me to my knees? And that means the moment that you said, I can't take it anymore. I have to figure out this path for myself. That's that aha moment. That's in the hero journey, the moment that the character in the movie says, all these trials and tribulations, I'm going to do this. And for a lot of us, it was that we went to school or we had hired, somebody that took us on a different path, but it's that moment that we are taken on a different path. For those of you who love marketing and you love copywriting and storytelling, a great book and a great person to follow is Donald Miller. He talks about this hero journey. So it's that, what happened? The next is, what did I learn? It's not just school for most of you. For some of you, of course it is. That was the first time that you had that aha moment. For some of you, it's also multiple schools. Maybe you went to school for health coaching or life coaching, then functional medicine. Some of you are chiropractors. Some of you are nurses that are moving into more of the coaching atmosphere. But what did you learn going through that experience? What do you teach? Why do you teach this? Why does the world need you? Because each one of you, and put the imposter syndrome to the side, put the overthinking to the side and think, I know that my experience is very unique. And I know that there's somebody that's going to identify with me. The world has a ton of people, and everyone is not going to align with my vibe. They may not align with your vibe, but I guarantee you there are clients for you as long as we are clear in our free offers. We're clear in the problems we solve in our paid offers. We're clear when we're creating that visibility, when we're sharing that message, when we're talking about that potential transformation, when we're talking about the problems, the symptoms, and of course, how we solve them. We don't make claims. We talk about it from either our own experience or that of what we've witnessed. And then the last, of course, is, how can you help your ideal client? Because when you've gone through this, each one of you have different steps that you've taken in your journey. So I want you to think, for my ideal client, what steps am I taking them through? What is that signature process when somebody works with you? What is step one? What is step two? I want you to also think, what are the biggest problems my ideal client has? The problems may not be what we call that hot hook. That hot hook is what actually makes her buy or what makes him buy. They may have a myriad of different problems, but they know gut's a mess, hormones are a mess, they're stressed, their skin is bad, but it's the weight that really is making them feel insecure and taking away from their life. For some of you, it may be that person is emotionally bankrupt and that they really feel like they just can't go on. And that is the hook. They are just looking for somebody that can take them from here, from this step one to actually a phase to step 4, where they start to feel better. So what we're going to look at tonight are the summer release programs. They're so excited. We have Canva templates. We have done for you infographics, captions. We have a lot of really cool things. And I also want to talk about what is great to launch in summer. How do you prep for the fall? And I just want to tell you the way that when I built Rachel's Wellness, which I had a crappy website, I didn't have a copywriter, I have dyslexia, so clearly writing wasn't the easiest thing for me. It's funny, I took the very pain that I had in my business and of course turned that into a product. The good thing is we have things like Grammarly, we have a lot of editors. But I want to take you through how I looked at this next quarter. Because whether you're new or whether you are scaling up, whether you're starting or scaling, you have to understand the flow, the ebb and flow of your year, so you have consistent, profitable months. Those of you who are launching in May, You might be actually buying something and you're like, oh my God, I'm launching. I was going to launch. I tried to make my program and it didn't work out. And so you're buying something. May is a great time to launch. And of course, you can catch people if you're in the United States before Memorial Day weekend. Get them locked in at, the week before. You can also, of course, launch that beginning of June. People are not yet in that mentality of summer. A lot of kids in a lot of parts of the country, United States, are still in school. And the truth is, even when you have clients that are in their 50s or in their 60s, 50s, they may still have kids at home. 60s, they're still conditioned to, oh, summer's coming. Well, we're not yet in that full summer mentality yet, because we are conditioned by the holidays that we've grown up with, or by the times we know that around middle of June is when kids get out of school. So wherever you are in the world, because we have coaches worldwide, think of that. Think of those dates, write them down, take a look at the next quarter. Beginning of June, I have a lot of clients who start masterminds, they start groups, they even open their membership knowing that people are in that mindset of buying. You also, of course, have late June. You could even do a Father's Day special, like, hey, enroll and you and your husband can come, or even, make it something themed, of course, about like getting your body back and ready for July 4th. That's a really big holiday. And it's also time that people have to get into a bathing suit. So no matter what niche you're in, if it's gut, you're going to talk about belly bloat, or you're going to talk about the skin issues that so many people get in the summer. If it's about, detoxing or beauty or anti-aging, we have our 2 summer programs, one on anti-aging, one on a skin detox. It's such a great time in the summer because what? We all say the same thing, just like we did New Year's. We're like, oh, I'm going to finally put myself first. It's the summer. I have time. So a great thing is positioning that with the messaging. Remember, guys, the program saves you time, saves you money, because you don't have to hire virtual assistants. You don't have to hire copywriters and editors. Even if you are hiring that for your own program, you don't have to spend the hundreds that it would cost to get somebody to write support emails or a sales page. Trust me, go and quote these kind of things. It's quite haunting. I did it when I was first coaching to see how much it would cost for somebody to even edit one ebook and make it, of course, gorgeous. So late June is great. And then after July 4th, like, hey, get your, get that July 4th, like bloat off, the barbecue. And of course, for those of you who are working with more niche specific, maybe it's hormones, maybe it's stress, maybe you're doing corporate. These are all still great times because people are not on vacation, or they want to get things right after they've just indulged, which, if you think about it, is really what New Year's is about. And the same mentality after Labor Day. I always love that end of July and that summer to be list building. I like that also to be the time that I'm building a referral network. So it's a great time to reach out to local vendors that know, like, and trust you. If you're in this time where maybe you're in an area in the world that things are not open, guess what? You find people online, you connect with them in Facebook groups. You connect with them by reaching out and saying, can I be on your podcast? You connect with them on LinkedIn. You connect with people so that you can get in front of their audience. That is going to be the faster way to have success versus hoping that somebody lands on your Instagram profile. And I say that because it worked for me. It's what I did. And I know that that's what allowed me to actually continue to create a business for so many people that were struggling or spending a ton of money on Facebook ads. I love Facebook ads. I think they're great. I love Instagram ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, Pinterest ads. But at the same time, we also have to do that footwork and actually get ourselves in front of people so that we can be at the top of their list when they're referring out. And plus, we can expand our list by getting in front of somebody who already has an established list. I also love brick and mortar over the summer. I think a lot of people will go to their gyms, they go to their spas, they go to hair salons, coffee shops. Like I said, if you're in a place where things are not open, you can of course reach out to those same places. They're in the same situation as you guys and say, hey, I would really love to come and talk about perimenopause or repairing your period. Or I'd love to talk about adrenal and stress or weight loss or gut, whatever you specialize in. The good news is that we have so much content that fits in each one of these niches. Then some of you might be looking at programs right now so that you can, edit them while you're in the course. A lot of you enroll in courses in June that teach you how to create your course, teach you how to create your signature program, launch your signature program. Many of you have also just graduated from amazing functional medicine institutes and schools like IN. And so you're looking now to build your client base. And you're working maybe with a business coach or a social media manager or a virtual assistant that says, hey, what is your paid offer? And you might be saying, what do I do? I want you to think about your work with me page. Think about your offers. Remember, your free offers, whether it's a workshop or a live, a PowerPoint can be used for both. A blog, a newsletter from our newsletter package or a blog package can be used for a live. You can do like everyone else does. Guys, I'm going to read off of this today. I want to make sure I deliver to you this home run information. You can also look at building the likelihood of somebody saying yes to you getting on their podcast or even doing an interview with them by having that content and saying, this is what I'm going to be speaking about. The good news is that they're not going to see you. You can be reading off of this. And if you are, of course, reading, and showing, doing a video, you can put an iPad or you can have another computer screen or your phone, and you can be reading off your notes on that PowerPoint. That's what content is. It doesn't have to be this one way. You're going to hear people say, oh, you need an on-demand webinar. You need to do it evergreen. You need to do this. You need to do that. I always say at the end of the day, ask people where they search for information. This is the biggest tip I can give you. I did this. I asked friends, I asked family, I asked in Facebook groups. I made 2 Facebook groups, a pretty happy home for myself, and befriended people. Didn't just go in there and post, this is the blog of the week. People who want to connect. That's what social media is all about. And so I started asking people, and people would say, oh yeah, I Google, I go on Facebook and I search. Oh, I love Pinterest. I love going and looking for pictures. And I would say, what kind? Are you searching for recipes? Are you searching for home design? What are you searching for? And if they didn't say something that was in alignment, of course, with my business and what I was offering, I wasn't going to waste my time there. I learned really fast that people went on YouTube, which was my first coach, and that, of course, people would search on Google. And so I made sure that I had a Facebook business page. I made sure I was consistently showing up. I shared recipes, which you can get from even joining our membership for only $97 a month, have a boatload of recipes that you can use for a blog, you can use for social media. I made sure that I was consistent, even though I didn't have a plan. I knew that I needed 3 signature workshops to get over my fear of putting myself out there. And even though you might see me easily being able to talk with no script, which I don't ever do anyway, they tend to mess me up. But I did need to know what I was talking about. And I needed to have a workshop, a tangible that I could say to that chiropractor's office. I would love to come in and do a free talk here. Guys, in the world of automation, automation is great, but it doesn't replace human contact and it doesn't replace old school outreach. And that old school outreach is in your community with people you already know, like, and trust, your health food store, your juice shop, the place that you go for massages, your hairdresser. All of these different people are opportunities that you never will think they open a ton of doors, but that is how I was able to be fully booked. I built that referral network by doing free talks. I did them online, I did them offline, the same exact free talks. So think about what your plan is this summer. Some of you, like I said, may be working on your signature program so that you have a clear picture that you're launching after Memorial Day in September. And I know you might be saying September's far off, but the beauty of the summer is you can spend time list building, you can spend time selling, you can spend time, of course, finding your groove, finding your ideal client, creating your awareness funnel. That awareness funnel is what people see on the digital marketing space. And when I say digital marketing, it means, is somebody Googling? Great. Why not have a pre-recorded video with a great title? Because you've done your market research. You've looked on Amazon. What are the trending books and titles? You've looked on YouTube and done some research. What are those master classes within your niche? You went on Mind Body Green, you went on Thrive Journal, Eating Well, Elephant Journal, and you've seen what are these trending topics now. You've examined media. What are they talking about on television shows? And then most importantly, you've looked at Answer the Public. You wanted to get that, what are my people searching for? It's not rocket science. It's just the truth is there are a lot of moving parts. When you're brand new, you do need a website, or you need to at least have a one-pager on Lead Pages or ClickFunnels or Squarespace or Wix for somebody to go and find you, find out who you are, what you're about. Do you have that freebie on the front of your site? Everyone doesn't need to blog, but if you think that somebody's going to come and consume in that fashion, blogs are great. If you think that somebody needs to, of course, have a video, even if you're an introvert or you're an extrovert that's kind of introverted like me, you might find that video is a great medium, especially for those of you who have more complicated niches. And when I say that, complicated niches have multifaceted issues. That could be somebody who has gut issues, but they also have Hashimoto's, and they've got some hormone stuff, and they've got candida, and they've got yeast, and they've got, SIBO, and they're just overwhelmed. They know all these words. They've been told you have this, but they're like, WTF. That's the overwhelm that every human being has. It's not uncommon that your person comes to you with a myriad of different issues. Don't feel overwhelmed. It is overwhelming in the beginning, but if you are clear on who you serve, the promise of working with you, the promise of your specific offers, free and paid, it will be much easier. I'm not going to tell you that it's not going to be hard. Let's just set the stage and get the no BS. It is going to be hard. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And a lot of people do it, but they don't spend enough time creating that visibility and letting people get to know you. People don't buy products, people buy people. The cool thing, and on my podcast, the Healthy Hustle podcast this week we're on iTunes at Healthy Hustle, Dr. Vita shared about how she was getting discovery calls, but she didn't feel that confident. She knew that she had this proven herbal remedies for fertility. She knew that this worked. She healed herself, and she's worked with other women, but she wasn't getting paying clients. And when she came to us, I said, let's get you started. Let's get the signature program. Let's look at the signature freebie that you need so that you can get started. And now you can listen actually from her own words. She is fully booked, but she's clear. She knows who she wants to serve. So put the marketing stuff to the side. Do the shamanic ritual. Wipe off all the negative thoughts, the imposter syndrome, the inner critic. Take a deep breath and just believe in yourself. Now, what we're going to do, of course, is I want you to drop any questions that you have into the live Q&A or the chat. I'm going to, of course, share my screen so that we can go right onto your health coach biz. And I'm going to show you the new programs. And I'm going to show you how to navigate, because I know everyone says it's overwhelming. So you're going to go right away to new programs. This new program page is going to give you a look real fast at all of our new programs. And bear with me if my internet's a little slow. These days, we all got to have a little compassion and patience. You will see right here, we have a lot of Canva templates. You guys have been asking us, can you please deliver Canva templates? So you will see this entire meal plan is in Canva. We have a vegan, paleo, ketogenic, and we also have vegetarian. You'll see there's 100 yoga poses with Canva template. And I'm going to show you how easy it is tonight to actually click right in, change that Canva template. We also have a 7-day yoga challenge that comes with 7 days of emails, the abundance mindset with Canva template. We have our anti-aging detox 2.0. We released this back, I think it was 2017 or 18. That and the summer detox from 2019 are one of our best sellers. And this is the thing, guys. What is trending? What's trending right now is beauty and anti-aging. We see a lot of people who are influencers talking about this on their podcast, talking about this on Instagram. The truth is, it's not that people are vain. It's that this has become such a big issue because we're all on video a lot more. We all have felt stress, myself included. I had my own experience of definitely feeling bogged down by this stress, and I had to up the ante on my beauty regimen. You'll also see that we have a starter package that we put in for website copy. It's not at the level that we have for our niche specific copy. That is $497. But this starter copy is great if you're a brand new coach and you just want to get your stuff launched, of course. Dream Life Planner, Goal Planner, Gratitude. And then, of course, we put out captions, hashtags, and infographics. You will see the gut health. You will see the hire a coach with social media. They all come with Canva templates. You will see the 30 blog package that also comes with banners that are ready to go for your blog banner or even for a newsletter. Plus, you have the Canva template and social media to put on the blog. You have a law of attraction planner. You have a manifesting and meditation, which we also have the meditation, habit, and mindfulness scripts that come with audios. So if you do a lot of energy healing, Reiki work, sound bowl, a lot of meditations, I know a lot of you do this in your practice, and it was something that really a bunch of you guys started asking, like, hey, we would love these meditations to even include in my membership or to include on a live. The cool thing is when you can use the content for a live, you can tell people, send me a DM, send me a PM. That could be even on the IGTV, or that could even be the link in your profile on TikTok. Or of course, stable videos pre-recorded. And they're stunning. I'll show you them. Mental health and trauma. this is something so dear to my heart and something that I talk about a lot growing up and still having anxiety and depression that I work through. And I work really hard constantly on reframing my mindset, working on old stuff that kind of has stayed with me and something that doesn't work. And so I'm really excited to deliver that. We wanted to do releasing trauma through yoga. I am so blessed for all my sisters in this past, year and a half that I've been able to depend on and be there with. And one of my girlfriends, and I'm not a yogini, was like, you have to start doing yoga and breathing. And it was a real big change for me. We did a thyroid protocol, a weight loss protocol, because you guys have been asking. And I also want to just show you how you can navigate this with ease. If you go, of course, to shop by niche, you will see that this takes you to a shop page. So if it's energy, gut health, hormones, sleep, if we go into mindset, you're going to see all of the content that applies to the mindset category, making it really easy. The 3-month Eat with Intention is about intuitive eating. It's also real soulful, lots of workbooks and homework. I think it's such an intense, amazing program. And of course, then you have our 30-day fresh start, which is more about like habits and, getting yourself back into taking care of yourself, not as deep or intensive, really high value. You will see our reboot program. You will see all the different things that are in, of course, that category. And please, if you have any questions, just reach out to us. You can also, of course, shop by program. So if you want to look at challenges, you'll see that this will take you only to the challenges. So if you know that you want to launch a challenge, live or evergreen, or you want to have a challenge that is in your Facebook group community or a community where you have it, whether it's on the platform that you use for your membership or a lot of these other community-based platforms, even Practice Better, you can see those challenges right here. You can, of course, also shop by name. It's not uncommon that you'll hear me talk about a product, maybe even about 7 in one of my lives. And so if you ever have any, if you ever are searching for a specific, you can always go to the search button and I could type in chakra. And this will take you right up, of course, to that one specific product. Last is a lot of people ask us about our membership. I just want to go over this before we dive into looking at the programs. When you buy the membership, you actually get the content for the month. Because it is content based, you will see that you can look at the month and you will actually see what we offer. The coupons do not apply to the membership because, of course, there's so much valuable information. But you will see we have, of course, done for you Trello boards, done for you Canva, messaging course. And then if you go, of course, to May right now, once you join Content in a Box, you can ask for the back months. We do that. So if you're like, hey, I would really love, sugar detox, or I would really love the anti-aging, or I'd really love the alkalinity, you can. You will see the benefit of this is really the templates and the time saver. Plus, you have recipes that are clean eating, vegetarian with omnivore options. And so that's a really amazing opportunity. You will also see, and I just want to show you because I've had a lot of people ask about about the stress program that we released in spring. This is all our programs that are over 21 days. So somebody was asking me if I could showcase the stress program. And if you have any specific programs that you want me to showcase, please let me know because we are going to go into Dropbox. Before I go any further, I just want to stop sharing for a second. and answer any questions that we may have. Somebody is asking, the discount is at work. Yes, so the coupon, the savings coupon that we have, not only do you get 25% off full pay, but you also get access to the brand new bonus, which is an amazing little mini program. It's applicable whether it's new, whether it's a content that we put out in the spring or any other year, anything on our site-wide, it applies. And so that will apply to one product. If, of course, you are buying a lot of different products, please reach out to us through our customer service at Your Health Coach Biz. Go into the chat button at the bottom and say, Rachel, I need a VIP product made. Please make it for me. If, of course, you are looking and you can't see which one works, or you don't know what you need, please schedule a session. We don't do coaching on that session, but we definitely go over what would be the best options so that you can buy by the end of that strategy session. Any other comments? Just want to see in the chat before we go on. Kamal saying she does ulcerative colitis coaching. I did that as well. Other than the AIP program, what would you suggest for ulcerative colitis? And just before we go on to the next, I wish that we could apply coupons to payment plans. We take a huge risk, unfortunately. I wish everyone paid their payment plans, but they don't, and it kind of messes it up for everyone else. So that's why we do give such a big discount for people who buy full pay. But if it's a payment plan that you're doing with a signature with a bunch of different products, please reach out to us, because we can always set up a VIP funnel code for you. Okay, let's go on to looking at ulcerative colitis. Anybody who has questions, of course, drop them in. And we're also going to do family style for anybody that wants to get on and ask specific questions, do a little hot seat so that we can be of service to everyone else. Because a lot of people often have questions, and it's much easier, of course, to understand how you can use something when you're hearing someone else. So let's just go into what I think would be good for ulcerative colitis. Keep in mind, guys, each one of you, as I said, have a different approach. So if you have a certain style of eating, you may want to be very specific when you reach out to us in customer service. You will often hear me, because I'm the one answering those questions, ask you, do you have a certain type of eating? Like, what is your method for food? Because food is often a really big one when it comes to people. So let's go into this 30-day gut fix. I'm going to show you option 1. This one I love because it's really a great for our leaky gut protocol. So it depends for, I think, when it comes to ulcerative colitis, do you need to do an allergy elimination, meaning like an AIP style, or is kind of AIP a little too heavy with some of the proteins that heats up the ulcerative colitis? Something that may want to be addressed as well is the leaky gut protocol. And I'll show you why. But let's first look at this guide. This is pretty much what I did with my ulcerative colitis patients. Or clients, I would do an allergy elimination first, and then I would put them on a program similar to this. You'll see that we actually get into a lot of the remove the stressors, replace, rest, and restore. And I'm going to actually show you the recipes as well. A person who came and bought this the other day asked, can you show me how many beans? We have, of course, pseudo grains. This is more of a Donna Gates approach. So I will actually show you the recipes to see. This is one of my favorites for anybody that does gut, leaky gut, I would say, autoimmune-ish. The other one that I would suggest would be to look at the Candida program, and I'll show you that as well. Such an amazing program, and it really is an elimination diet as well. So you'll see we're talking about, SIBO, IBS, constipation. I love this. I love this also because I think one of the most difficult things when we're coaching is to help somebody to understand that we're not just making this up. So when you can say to somebody, this is based on the 4R approach, they can go and Google that. And they can also, if you're partnering with their doctor or you're working with their naturopath, it's usually something that they would also agree in as well. I, of course, for some of my ulcerative colitis clients, did a lot of congees or even mono meals if it was really bad or if we were in like a flare zone. But once you get the right supplementation on and the right balancing, I think, that of course will go away. It might turn into a little more of a colitis. In the perfect world, that would all be gone. But, once you hit ulcerative colitis, you're at a different level. And I know that just from my experience. I would say, just as kind of a tidbit of what has worked for me, Microbiome Labs has really been a game changer. I do a probiotic rotation, and we talk about that in here specifically so that your microbiome stays inoculated with a lot of different types of flora. Say you take a week break or 2 weeks. I actually, for me personally, I did 4 probiotic rotation, and I also used Florister. It's one of my favorite. In my experience, it was a game changer because, with ulcerative colitis, we don't always know what's pulling the trigger for that flare or what's causing so much heat in the body. For me also personally, for anybody else struggling in that area, that was a lot of strep, and it was also my Epstein-Barr. So you will see right here, and you will see we put this on XX because when you guys are actually changing it, it might actually change, but go and of course put that in. This program I love. You'll see right here, we get into enzyme, bitters, Dr. Lamb, talking about that adrenal, L-glutamine, and it's real step-by-step. I love that we also have a lot of different references here. This is a game changer. This would take so long. I think that's the thing about Done For You programs is I know that this in your brain, but being able to put this into a program that's been created by also a functional medicine practitioner and a holistic nutritionist, and also has a plethora of other certifications is really a game changer. So let me just show you the recipes in there. That would be what I would do. I think these recipes are really great. Plus, we'll just look at the vegan for the start. Plus, you have these extra workbooks. And I just saw Dr. Jockers has something just like this, like a 30-day. I think Josh Axe has something like this, something that's really easy for somebody to get started. And also for them to, if you need to in your one-on-one, or if this was grouped, or if this was self-paced, you could include a video, as I always did, of talking about common allergens or telling people that if they have existing food allergies, of course, to omit the food that would cause the flare. And furthermore, for those of you who are doing testing, whether you're doing a GI map or whether you're doing food allergies, or you can usually, of course, assess that if somebody doesn't do well with butt week or swapping out the pseudo grains, you know, you can do that. Or I have found that most people just really need to soak to get the phytic acid off. But you will see right here, it is that Donna Gate style approach. Let me just go back to the question. Somebody's saying, let me just see if I answered everything from Kamal. Does, other than the AIP program, what do you suggest? Let me just also show guys the Candida program, because this is, I love this program. And it is such an unbelievable. So right here, this program, and I think I look over this too many times. You could swap Candida out. It doesn't have to be Candida, but you will see right here, there is this amazing chart, alkalizing foods, and really gets into like even the thoughts. So being able to have assets like this when you're even working with somebody one-on-one, or you're in a membership, or, you know, even giving this as like a freebie. There's so many different things that you could do. You also have the client materials where you have the training PowerPoints for phase 1, which for those of you who are doing things in Practice Better, Kajabi, Kartra, Thinkific, Teachable, it's really great to have these PowerPoints to be able to create your little mini videos. You can take one PowerPoint, and I'll show you in the stress program, and break that down into little mini videos. Just because a content could have like 25 slides doesn't mean that you have to go over 25 slides. You could break that up into like 5 little mini videos. You have the Candida guide right here. And this may be a really nice one that fits in with that ulcerative colitis, because I found personally there was a lot of heavy metals and there was a lot of yeast being created to protect the organs, which is what the body does. So this might be a really great opportunity as well. And there's a do not eat list. You could, of course, omit seeds, or of course only do pumpkin seeds and soak them. I'm a huge advocate for getting those nuts out and doing avocado, guacamole, coconut oil, easier things on the digestive process. And then most importantly, also look at bile flow for anybody, for anybody where there's some pre-existing conditions, and there tends to be a lot of gut dysbiosis. So this is one that I really love: oil pulling, tongue scraping, castor oil packs, enemas, bentonite clay books here. And then I'll show you the recipes. This is in omnivore. We didn't do this in vegan or vegetarian because it would have had to be very minimal foods with doing a lot of superfoods, which some people just either can't afford or they don't want to do. So this one is omnivore. Very yummy stuff. All the recipes are also different. I mean, there's only so many ways we can make chia seed pudding, but we really try to make this in a way that people don't feel like they're in deprivation ever. I know from being on allergy elimination diets, you know, it kind of messes with your head over time where you feel like you just can't eat anything. So let me know if those worked, Kamala. Is the natural menopause the same as the presentation that's in the menopause pathway? No, let me show you the menopause workshop. You can also do this as a low-cost offer. You could, of course, do this as a free menopause workshop. This one is different than what is in the menopause pathway. You'll see right here, we have handouts. This is a menopause quiz. You could, of course, use this for onboarding. You can use this as a questionnaire. You can use this for engagement. You can use this in a presentation. You can even use this when you're trying to even pre-qualify clients. You have an estrogen dominance handout, really getting into what I feel is a really big topic and something we probably don't know enough about. I know if it weren't for a practitioner that I had 15 years ago, I wouldn't have known about, 15 years ago. She told me I had estrogen dominance. So here's actually a little lab testing in here. It's not going to be the same as our protocol, but something that I feel could be included as a paid masterclass. You, of course, have this PowerPoint, and yes, completely different. If we had the same content, it wouldn't be fair to people who buy, and we have a lot of people who come to us for a lot of different content. You can change out pictures. Any of these pictures, you can go to Unsplash or Pixels or Pixabay and find pictures. And many of you have Canva. You can also, of course, pull down your own images here from your pro account, which is $12.95 a month. So good. So that one is different. If you feel that, of course, it's more advantageous for you to have the program, then I would, of course, do the program, because then you, of course, have the entire guide that you're using. But some people also like the fact that they get a quiz, that they get that extra freebie, and really are thinking, let me just plug in my computer, guys. Really are thinking about how they can use those assets in additional ways. Somebody's saying, can you use the protocols for a single session? I love the protocols. I just actually worked with a client the other day, and we went over the protocol as a single. And also, guys, single sessions, like 60-minute sessions, which is very clinic kind of based, I would always do a 7 or a 14-day program. That means during the single session, what I would do is that person would sign up. We would have our discovery call. I would, of course, say, this is what's great about working with me, is you're going to get access to this 14-day program. I knew that we could personalize that program. So my onboarding process was a discovery call. That person then, of course, signed up with me. I had 3 14-day programs. Those were my single session programs. And I would send the program to the person before, not in an overwhelming way. I would say, look at the recipes, read the guide, get acquainted with what we're going to be going over. Of course, I picked which 14-day program was going to be right for that person based on our discovery call and the questionnaire that they filled out. When we got onto the session, or whether we were doing it face-to-face, we went over that program and personalized it for them. Remember, the tangibles are what you give them. The intangibles are that personalization, that transformation, and also going over their biggest main problem that you can go over in a 60-minute. Of course, if somebody has a myriad of different problems, it's not going to be suitable for a 60-minute session, and it probably would be more advantageous to have them in a 30-day, a 3-month, or in a mastermind, but single sessions are really great entry places. I do think, let's just take a look at this weight loss protocol. I do think something like this, and going over a weight loss protocol, and maybe even pairing it with affirmations if you wanted, or pairing it with a workshop that you have, converting that to a PDF, that to me is a no-brainer. You're going over what that person's going to do, what are the obstacles in their life, why are they having these problems, and then coming up with that game plan. You'll see right here, I love that we address the blood sugar. I think that it's such a huge thing. And I know for a lot of women, perimenopause, menopause, a lot of women like myself with insulin resistance from being with years of hypoglycemia, this sugar problem has always been an issue. And for so many of my clients, because I promoted weight loss done different through healing the gut and through getting rid of dysbiosis pathogens and fungus and candida, we often focused on blood sugar. I would have my clients test their sugars so that they could really see how their body was working. So right here with the B12, the digestive enzymes, probiotic, we have DIM, herbal support for sugar, berberine, milk thistle. I mean, I look at that as a no-brainer for doing a single session. And for those of you, of course, who are looking at, menopause, you can, of course, do the women over 40, the women over 40. So we have, of course, the protocol right here. Everything. So I think that, yeah, that would be a great one, of course, to go over. Oh, was I not sharing screen? Sorry about that, guys. Let me go over the weight loss one again. I apologize. So right here, you have the weight loss protocol. And let me just show you it again. Brain fart. Let's just talk about how do you recover when you're doing a live or webinar. This is just real behind the scenes. You just keep moving on. It's okay. As long as you tell people I messed up, it's all good. Just make sure that it doesn't jack you up and say, oh, it's not going to be good. There's no failure when we're showing up and, in the online space where we're putting ourselves out there. There's only being honest and transparent that, we made a boo-boo. So you'll see right here, vitamin D, B12. I love that we brought in DIM because that's usually such a missed component. Love that we brought in for the sugar, the berberine, the milk thistle. But that's a great one for a single session. It's also great for those of you, and I just helped a client put a package together for her lab testing. And I said, oh, wow, isn't it great if you do lab testing and you can give this protocol or the lab sheets? Because one of the biggest things, guys, that I think we often forget when we're coaching is we're helping somebody advocate for themselves. That's why I became a coach, was to help somebody learn how to navigate in their journey in wellness. And too often we're scared to ask questions. We're scared to advocate for ourselves. That's why I hired a doula when I was birthing my children naturally. I wanted somebody who would help me advocate for myself, because I was a little uncomfortable to do that. And it's not uncommon, especially that women, I'm not saying this as a blanket statement, but most often, we apologize too much, or we say we're sorry too much, and we don't advocate for ourselves in the same way. But when we have somebody else helping us, we feel really empowered. And I feel that's for men too. They have their own, I don't want this to be a big deal, and teaching people, men, women, children. I worked with tons of families, how to advocate in their life for what they need and what they desire and what they deserve is really the game changer. So those labs can even be a freebie. It can also be part of that package where you say to somebody, this is what you're going to take to your specialist or your doctor, so that what tests you deserve, instead of somebody saying, oh, I'm not going to do that test. I learned to say, why? Because of the people that I hired. So I think we did that. We're done. Would you say it's a good idea to pack in a menopause course into a 1-week retreat? Find people are having trouble staying in memberships. I think you could do it in a little different of a way. This would just be my suggestion. I think the 1-week retreat is amazing because you would have that time to deep dive. I have a client that took a 30-day program and did that in her 1 week. You could also position it where when people sign up, they immediately get access to the guide, and maybe some like videos where maybe like 3 videos for that first week, 3 videos for that second, like prepping them before they come to the retreat, which is the incentive for that person to want to sign up earlier. And then of course have like meals made from the guide, or have all of those extra hormone boosters or menopause at the retreat. So you're really teaching that woman, like, what does she need to be drinking each day for her body? How does she avoid, you know, this time that is supposed to be so wonderful in her life, but everyone says, oh, it's going to be a nightmare. So I think that could be option 1. Option 2 is that you could do a 10-woman mastermind, high ticket, and do coaching for that time, or do individual coaching sessions, and then lead everyone at the end of that month to a retreat. It's just 2 different ways of doing it. And I always say, whichever one you think is going to be the best for conversion, to do that. I know that a lot of people do retreats paired with a mastermind. So I do love that. I think it's a great, and I think also people are so craving right now face-to-face. Yes, Daphne, I think I just did the weight loss protocol, but tell me if you didn't see it. Is the natural menopause workshop that, no, we went through that. Okay. Yeah, I know, guys, stop sharing my screen. Okay, let me just also go. Danielle is saying, looking to launch a group program this summer right after July 4th. I purchased the summer detox. Anything else you would suggest to go with that? I thought about the stress program for using. Now let's look at both stress programs. And guys, I am sharing the screen. Okay. I want to show you this stress program because I promised a coach, 3 coaches, I would go over the stress program, and that I would show the stress protocol. And I do want to, of course, show the Canva. So we're going to hop into how easy it is to use this. So here's the stress program. We're going to look at the client materials. What's amazing about this, and we spend a lot of time on this PowerPoint because I knew a lot of you are doing these, not just pre-recorded, but you're actually doing them kind of like dripping out content, or that you're on platforms, like I said, like Practice Better, which allows you to put a little video and then you have the content. You will see this dives into everything. So if you're doing some pre-recorded videos, if you're doing some live components, you can, of course, have a lot of it already done. And this takes you exactly through the guide, which is why there's 82 slides. You can break it up into mini PowerPoints. You could, of course, just take the PowerPoint and stop at slide 23 or 24 and say, you know, that's for session 1. You could make, 15-minute videos. You could do a kickoff and a wrap up, which we also have. This is looking at how stress impacts everything in the body. And I will say, I've never seen a program this comprehensive. We have a lot of different programs. This went into, it's really went into the aspects of like how it's not only physically, it's emotionally, it's hitting you in the soul, it's hitting you on so many different levels. So you have those PowerPoints for each. You also have, of course, the guide. You have a guide and you also have a workbook. And the workbook you can do, I see this whether it's face-to-face, I see this whether it's online, this could even be a mastermind. This could be great for those of you who specialize in hormones, or you work with brain health, or you work with gut, but you're really talking about stress. So this is the stress program. You have this entire guide with exercises, types of stress, helping somebody to really understand how to navigate. And that's why this was such a beautiful one for myself. You know, how do you navigate when you actually have anxiety? Because, you know, or you have stress that impacts to where it's like paralyzing, which I think a lot of people have, especially those in an autoimmune state, those in a, you know, with gut dysbiosis constantly, or chronic health issues, chronic immune. So this is a really great program. This, of course, is the 3-month signature program, but I'll even show you for month 1, you have your workbook. You have workbook handouts also. So if you were looking at this using it one-on-one, this can be an entire 1 exercise. This can also be great for a group. This could also be great for a membership. And I think the biggest thing about memberships is if people are busy, you really need to you can also position it where maybe it's better to do it in kind of a mastermind setting where people are committing, or where you have a membership, but people also get one-on-one sessions with you. So you have 3 months of that. This one takes them for understanding stress. You have your workbook, you have the individual handouts, which these kind of assets are amazing. And I think for those of you who do corporate, this would be an amazing program to pitch to corporate as well. Because corporate loves a specific, you know, how is this going to help more better performance? And I think that also for those of you who are more biohackers and really work in rewiring the brain and mindset, this is a different twist on a mindset program. We have Mindset Makeover. I think, you know, this is again just a different approach to mindset, a different approach to rewiring. I mean, there is so much. And of course, you also have the workbook as one workbook. And I thought for a lot of you guys for doing, you know, practice better and stuff like that. So this is a 20-page workbook. Really, really interesting stuff that you could do one-on-one, stuff that you could do in groups. That we have this, of course, compared to the stress course. The stress course, oops, hold on. Dropbox had a little moment. They're gonna come back. The stress course is different, I would say, for those of you, of course, that feel like you identify, well, guys, this is giving me a little problem. Let me just stop sharing the screen for a second. The stress course has more what I call like information about like stress and mindset, whereas the stress program is going to go deeper into what you saw. And as soon as Dropbox recalibrates, let me see if I can do this one. So let's just go in the stress course. This can be great for, you know, content. I have a lot of coaches who have bought this, who use it for content in a group or use it for content in their social media. Not every course has to be a course, not every program. I have a lot of people who buy even the membership content to use for their social media so that they have a workshop. Oops. So that they have a workshop a month, so that they also have a freebie a month, and that they're able to constantly, be visible, and not have lags because we get overwhelmed, which will bring us to looking at the captions. I would definitely look for any of you who are, questioning which one. We do have sneak peeks on every page. And if there's questions, please, drop them in. I never want somebody to buy something that doesn't work, because we do no refunds. So, because once you get those assets, it wouldn't be fair to other people who do spend that time and really look and ask questions. You will see this could be great for, like I said, free or paid, great for a membership, great for groups, great for one-on-one, because you can convert these even to be little videos that you have in your one-on-one. Let me also, while we're here, show you guys the captions. These are the ones that I was talking about. You, of course, have all the infographics right here ready to, of course, use. You will see. But you also, which is amazing, have the Canva template so that you can go in and edit. And you'll see, once you buy a Canva template, or once you buy something with a Canva template, you will instantly get access to the Canva template with all those images. The great thing about this, and something that I haven't seen, is then we put in captions. So every different image has that caption, and of course hashtags. So this is where we see a lot of coaches get stuck. We have the infographics for skin, gut health, weight loss. These ones I know everyone's going to love. And I just want to even show you the Canva templates. So let's just even look at releasing trauma through yoga. Right here, we're going to go in. I have a lot of people say to me that they, have trouble swapping things out, but I just want to show you. This template's going to come in. This is going to instantly give you a copy into your free or pro account. If I want to change a photo, I'm going to have to go to photo. If I want to change it right here. If I want to, of course, look at mature woman yoga, the $12.95 is worth it. I'm telling you, it is worth it. If not, you can go on to places like Unsplash. You're not going to have as easy of a time. So if I do mature woman yoga, you're going to have to, of course, see the ones that are here, pick and choose, download, and sometimes you're not going to find it. Or let's just put in yoga. But these have a bunch of great pictures. I would say for, anybody looking for pictures, this is wonderful. You just are not going to have as much variation. And you might not find somebody who is the age and demographic of your ideal client. But what you can do is download, upload right here, and you will see I have uploaded pictures that I use. Let's just even put Carrie, who is our teacher right now in the membership, teaching about Facebook groups. If I wanted to put her right there, that's when you upload that media. So you're downloading from Unsplash or Pixabay or Pexels. The cool thing is right here, this is going to bring up the colors of this picture. If I wanted to change this, I'm going to tap right here on this element and say, I'm going to, that's a little crazy. I'm gonna play around and just see. I tell people all the time, don't sit in perfection. Right here, same thing. If I wanted to take that picture and I wanted to put in this woman and start changing and then change this to pink, it's also going to show me colors that I just used. But everything, when somebody says I can't change the pictures, it's just that you haven't gone to the photo. The great thing about YouTube is this is where I've learned everything. Don't think there was one person. And I think that's an important thing to understand. We have to do our own investigative research, and it is a lot, and that is a pain in the ass, and it can feel time consuming, but that's when it's worth going to Fiverr, Fiverr, or Upwork, Upwork, finding a assistant. It's called a virtual assistant, and making that decision of how much time is worth your time equity. You are buying done for you programs, but it doesn't mean that it's going to have it exactly the way that you want. And so it's worth taking anywhere from $18 to $30 for somebody to do it in an hour versus you doing it in 5 hours. And a Canva template, to have somebody do a Canva template, on average, a 10 or 15 page workbook is quoted anywhere from $100. And then of course, like 20, 50 pages is quoted at like 400. Maybe if you're lucky, 200, but it is definitely an expense versus finding somebody to take 1 hour to swap out the pictures. Trust me, they do it that fast. Okay, somebody, yes, I apologize that I wasn't seeing the screen. I wasn't showing. Let's just see if there's any new comments. Someone saying, gotta jump off. I'm gonna book a 20-minute strategy. No problem. Please do, guys. And if you are hesitant, like what to buy, please reach out to me, whether it's a direct message, a personal message. I will answer. It's not a VA team answering, it's actually moi. And so please, tell me a little, this is what I'm looking for, so that I can try my best. Someone saying, what programs and workshops would you suggest for corporate wellness? I would say also something to look at for corporate wellness. Let me just go back to Dropbox and share screen. You could, if you wanted to do 12-month, which a lot of corporate love, content, membership content. Let me just, you could look at something like this. It has recipes. It also has 12 months of different core topics. So month 1 is clean eating. So if you were to look at this PowerPoint and say, coming in at each one of the topics, this could be an option where you have, again, 12 topics going into detail on each one of them specifically. And then of course, teaching. Corporate really loves when there's like a 6-month, a 12-month, or a 3-month. You could, of course, then pitch to them, this is what I'm going to teach: sugar. Then you can go into gut and immune. Then you get into the reset, which you will see month 4 is about daily habits for self-care. We have a lot of people who love this package because it is going over the different variety. If, of course, you wanted to have a variety of different topics, another idea is you can go into workshops. And the workshops could be, let me just think of, it could be intro to gut. So you could go into like gut and hormone. These are individual modules that you can buy. You could go and see what would be great for hormone, what would be great for gut, and go and say, I mean, maybe I wouldn't do immune for the summer, but I would do like self-care, or I would do stress or gut health. And you'll see these are amazing PowerPoints. Great for doing workshops, great for doing lunch and learns. And if you wanted to, of course, pitch a program, a lot of people use Mindset Makeover. They use the 4-month reboot. Those are great examples, but you'll see right here, visually pleasing, easy for people to understand. And of course, you can also give them this guide. So it comes with this guide. So that's what I would do actually for corporate. Depends what you're positioning. I have also some people who have used the 60-day weight loss, 3-month mindset makeover. What would the stress program quiz be a good for the opt-in? Oh yeah, let me just show you. I love this. Let me show you the stress program, and then I will show you the Canva templates because I think they're so cool. For the vegan ones, stress. So you could, of course, this isn't even the stress protocol, but this one has a quiz so that you could use this for the freebie. I think quizzes are amazing. And you will see right here, it goes into a lot of detail. It's different from our stress protocol, but I would use this as a freebie. And of course, you also have 2 freebies, which are great. We went with a weight loss because that's a really big theme when we did our market research. And you can see here, there's so much value. I mean, guys, this could even be a workshop. You have to just, take one of the workshop templates, or you can do a live on this. You can do a video series on this. You could even use this as social media. That's one social media post. So I think content can really be everything, meaning it doesn't have to be this one way. Somebody saying, what would you suggest price point for 8-week restore your gut? And somebody saying, what is the monthly topics? That is, let me just show you right here on our site so you know where to find this. And guys, I'm happy to do this again. If anybody wants to come into my free group and say, Rach, please, can you do this again? There's only so much that we can ever get done. And so right here, where is this membership? I have to pull this away. I'm always happy, of course, to do these. Here's the membership. This is the 12-month membership content package. It's an amazing package. We have one for hormone, gut, kids. Kids comes with a really great kids program for families, but this is the 12-month content package. Let me say, what is the price I would suggest for Restore Your Gut? Pricing is an interesting thing because everyone has a different price strategy. If you're doing higher ticket, a 3-month is a 1K program. That means it's $330 per month. I always suggest know your monthly price, know your hourly price. Start with your hourly price so you know how much your time is worth, how much you're charging for talks. But I would say that $497 per month times 3, that's $1,491. So that means that someone's paying $497 I love to do two 60-minute sessions and two 15-minute check-ins. Feel like that weekly accountability always created a better flow. You could, of course, also do it with $597 a month times 3. That's 1,791. And if you're looking to have, let's say, 3 clients that month, that's 5,373. If you had 3 clients, I mean, so we were at 597 times 3 times 3, 5,373. If you were able to get 3 clients, and then you had a lower cost option, maybe a group, maybe you had a group that met every month for, let's say, $97, a low cost group, and you themed that with one of either the membership content pieces where you gave them recipes, you gave them a workshop, you guys met twice a month, and your goal was to have 15 people in that. That's 1,455 times 12, 17,460. So, and 17,460 plus the 5, I think it was 274, equals that 5,274 times 12. That's 63,288 plus, I think we said 7,496, something like that. We're at like 80,000. That's why I always say, don't just know your niche, know your plan, know your pricing. So you could, of course, do a 2-month program. You can say it's 597 times 2. You can keep it where maybe it's a 997. I didn't charge my worth in the beginning. I was definitely nervous and scared. So I'm always very honest about that. I had a lot of lower cost options that fed into my higher. But there were times that I charged $397 a month. I charged $697 a month. I charged $997 a month. And later, at the height of my career, which was not too deep into it, at like the 4-year mark, I was charging $2,500 a month because I was helping people to put together teams. My work with me looked like a 90-minute session for the first session, a 20-minute, a 60-minute, and a 20-minute. Truth is, my 20 sometimes moved into 30, but I felt that if somebody was working with me, I wanted them to have wins. I wanted them to have that transformation. And I know that a lot of our clients get extremely overwhelmed, get extremely overwhelmed trying to get themselves healthy. So I just want to show you actually the interior of some of these Canva templates, so you can actually see, because I'm really excited about them. And then you'll actually see my behind the scenes of my Canva. Okay, so let me get, so right here, this one's a paleo program. A lot of you guys ask about this. And this is exactly what it's going to come to you like. You can have access to everything right here. It's really neat, really cute, really visually pleasing. Can also, of course, we're going to look at this next one. This I love. And guys, trying to get somebody, trust me, I'll tell you what happened. I have my team, of course, and I was trying to, also just go through, of course, pricing it out with people. Oh my God, it was insane. I mean, extremely insane. And I sat there and tried to, get good prices to just even see what is the process of going through this if I weren't, in my situation. And it was not easy. Some people sent me some some crap. So, that's one of the reasons that we try to create this stuff to make it really simple for you guys. Before we close out, somebody's saying, I have your 12-month membership and haven't used it, not sure how to use it. Being general, there's no niche for this membership. I actually look at it the opposite. I feel like there are the things where we get really niche specific, but we can also talk about these topics in a way where you can either use it for free content, where you're doing a webinar a month, or you're using that in a Facebook group community, or you're using that on, for videos on YouTube so that people actually find you. And then making sure that you're adding in, how does it relate to your niche? I mean, everyone wants, self-care. So if you're thinking, how does that relate when you're talking about perimenopause? I would just add in like some key tips, add in a few slides that are, very perimenopause specific, so that you always relate it to your niche. If you're using the perimenopause program in the workshop, I would actually just take the information that you have in perimenopause or some of the verbiage, put that into a few slides and use that for nurturing and building that visibility. I think too often we try to launch our programs and we need more clients. We need more people, more visibility, because not everyone has a 50% conversion rate. It's usually normal that there's a 5% conversion rate. Maybe better, of course, on a discovery call, but that's how I would use it. I think that there's a lot of great topics that any different niche, of course, thinks so, not thinks about, but any different niche relates to. And so if you look at it like that and pull from some of the content that you have that's very niche specific, that's what we call the consumable information. So on the visibility and the awareness, you might have something that is on like anti-aging. Then as you're teaching that, or as you're using that as a live or a workshop, talk about, how is aging different when we are in perimenopause or menopause? How's our skin dry out? What are some of the best foods? What are some of the best essential oils, practices for the body? Why is it important to eat certain foods, and really get down and dirty and specific? With that being said, guys, we are going to close out tonight. This replay will be coming to you tonight, if you're on my list, of course, at about 9:15. If you have specific questions, please reach out to us. I'm a huge, conversation kind of person. And you can friend me on Facebook, you can personal message me, you can direct message me. Most importantly, if you have questions, please try to send them through our customer support. My emails can sometimes get overloaded and I don't want to miss questions for you guys. I'm really excited. I think this year also, I think summer is going to be a little different. In lieu of just what everyone's been experiencing worldwide. I talk to a lot of coaches worldwide, and each one of us have a little different of experience, but I really do think if we look at the beauty and the silver lining of what we've experienced, I do believe people understand how important it is to put their health first. And understand, and are not only understand, but are struggling and suffering with a lot of things like unexplained weight loss and stress and skin issues, which is why we have the brand new anti-aging detox. We have the summer skin detox. A lot of people, no matter what niche or what problems, get a lot of issues, of course, heating up with their digestive health or hormones. And I know that there's a lot of people that have thyroid issues right now, weight, stress, sleep. So I would say your clients are dealing with a myriad of issues, and they're really looking at you to be that resource and the solution to their problems. Always remember, be relatable, be real, be authentic. We do live in a world of filters. I say often my favorite line is Barbies and bullshit. No offense, Barbies. But, you don't have to be a certain way when you're showing up online, offline. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to look a certain way. You just have to be real. And for those of you that have comparison syndrome, trust me, that's my middle name. You have to just remember like why you started. Think about yourself in that struggle or whoever really inspired you. Get back to the basics, put the blinders on, think about really what does your ideal client need to know about you to identify with you, and then be specific, of course, in the problems and speak to your ideal client. Do that market research so that you know the verbiage they're using so that we don't use too much of coachy words. It's been a pleasure to be with you guys. It's always an honor. At the end of the day, I'm a coach, and makes me kind of teary when I think about that, because that is what kept me going and it's what kept me focused. So with that being said, been a pleasure. And if you guys have any questions, let us know. And then with that being said, I'm going to see you guys later. Bye, guys.